Yo, what is up guys? Delboy here, aka Blue Collar Sports TV. Hopefully you guys are doing well. If you're new here, smash that like, hit subscribe, all of that good stuff. So obviously in July, Matchroom will mark their DAZN UK debut with their Fight Camp series. Fight Camp, of course, is a 3-week series based in Eddie Hearn's back garden. And lo and behold, Eddie Hearn today actually mistakenly leaked some of these fights that will be on Fight Camp. Essentially, he was taking a picture with a fan, I believe, and Eddie's notebook, whatever you want to call it, was open. The picture was uploaded online, and fans realised that the notebook contained several fights from Fight Camp. Now, not all of the fights have been confirmed, there's a lot of TBAs, but nevertheless, let's run through this. So week 1, we do have a few confirmed fights. So Conor Benn versus Adrian Granados. Now this fight is all really dependent on what Adrian Granados has left. As we know, Adrian Granados has had a really hard career. He's been in there with several top fighters from 140 to 147, including the likes of Danny Garcia, Yordenis Ugas, Amir Imam, Robert Easter Jr. Usually he loses, but he usually gives these guys a tough fight. He also fought Sean Porter. He lost that fight, but gave Sean Porter a few problems here and there. And if it is the same Adrian Granados from those fights, then I think this could actually be a pretty decent fight and a good test for Conor Benn at this stage. But in the last couple of fights, Adrian Granados has looked a little worn and torn, to be honest, not really been performing as he was a few years ago. So ultimately it depends what version of Granados we're going to get. If he can rewind the clock, I think it's a good test for Conor Benn. If not, Conor Benn will win this fight quite comfortably. Also on Fight Camp week 1, we have Shannon Courtney versus Rachel Ball 2. I have no interest whatsoever in that fight, but those who do, enjoy. The European Cruiserweight Champion Tommy McCarthy is also listed as fighting TBA. Now I'm assuming that's going to be Chris Billum-Smith. Eddie Hearn has mentioned that fight several times. Chris Billum-Smith, a good domestic contender, Commonwealth Cruiserweight Champion. Billum-Smith versus Tommy McCarthy would be a really good fight. So fingers crossed that fight happens on Fight Camp Week 1. Also on Fight Camp Week 1, we have Anthony Fowler versus TBA. Could that be Scott Fitzgerald? Who knows? We also have Jack Cullen versus Avni Yildirim. Jack Cullen is a fun domestic level fighter in the UK at 160 and 168 pounds. He's not going to tear up any trees at European level or world level, but Jack Cullen is a real good fun domestic level fighter. And as we know, Avni Yildirim, not a world class super middleweight. He got found out by Chris Eubank Jr. and Canelo Alvarez in devastating fashion. More than likely this will actually be a competitive fight. I would favour Avni Yildirim, to be honest, but it's a competitive fight. Both guys are aggressive and, fan-friendly fight in my opinion. No problem with that whatsoever. Campbell Hatton will also be featuring on Fight Camp Week 1. Now, Fight Camp Week 2, we have Kid Galahad versus Jazza Dickens 2. That is for the vacant IBF featherweight title. Decent fight. Of course, Josh Warrington vacated that belt a few months ago, only to get knocked out by Maurizio Lara. So Kid Galahad and Jazza Dickens are fighting for the vacant title. Now, I'm favouring Kid Galahad to win that fight. Nevertheless, it is a rematch. And first time around, it was actually quite a good fight. Kid Galahad won the first fight, I believe, by like a 10th or 11th round stoppage. Something like that. But it was very competitive throughout and a good fight. So those guys are going to go at it again. Decent fight, no problem whatsoever. Also on Fight Camp Week 2, we have Florian Marku versus Maxime Prodan. Now that fight I assume is going to be at welterweight. Florian Marku got a big Albanian following. Recently beat Ryland Charlton, of course, in a good fight. And he's fighting Maxime Prodan. Now I've heard of Maxime Prodan, but I've never seen him fight. He's got a record of 19 wins, 0 defeats, 1 draw. 15 of those 19 wins coming by way of knockout. So, it's somewhat of a step up for Florian Marku, and it could be a good fight. Florian Marku's always in pretty fun fights. He's an aggressive fighter who can punch, but he's got his vulnerability, so that could be a good fight between Florian Marku and Maxime Prodan, but I need to do some more research on Prodan. Also on Fight Camp Week 2, we have a fight for the Simps, Ebony Bridges versus somebody called Connolly, no idea who that is. Johnny Fisher is also returning on Fight Camp Week 2. Fight Camp Week 3, now this in my opinion is an interesting fight and a good step up. Joshua Bouts versus Richard Bolotniks. Bolotniks, of course, is a Latvian light heavyweight. He recently won the golden contract in the light heavyweight division. He beat Stephen Ward, he beat Hosea Burton, he beat Sergey Michel, and basically he ran through that light heavyweight golden contract tournament, and even before the golden contract he beat an unbeaten prospect by the name of Sergey Ekimov. So listen, going into this fight with Bouts, Richard Bolotniks is on really good form. He's a good pressure fighter, he's got a real nice compact guard, his power is respectable, he's very durable. In fact, he's actually fought at cruiserweight and gone the distance, so I think this is a good step up for Joshua Bouts. I think right now this is the ideal fight for him. I've seen a few people online actually criticise this fight. I think Richard Bolotniks is ideal for Joshua Bouts at this stage. I think he's better than like a domestic level UK fighter. I would say Richard Bolotniks is a solid European level fighter. That's what I would say. He ran through the golden contract light heavyweight tournament, which consisted of a lot of domestic fighters. He beat those guys comfortably, so I actually quite like Joshua Bouts versus Richard Bolotniks. I think that's a pretty solid fight, in all honesty. Also on Fight Camp Week 3, it looks like Natasha Jonas is back in action versus TBA. Don't really care about that. Also the return of Michael McKinson, who recently beat Chris Congo. He's also listed as fighting TBA. So yeah, those look to be the fights on Fight Camp. Obviously, still more need to be confirmed. Even these haven't been confirmed, it's just been leaked. So maybe some of these fights don't happen. But all in all, I think there is some solid fights there, to be honest. And all in all, the quality looks better from last Fight Camp. But initially, is it quite the bang that Eddie Hearn was promising? Right now, I would say no. But of course, several more fights need to be confirmed. In fact, the whole thing needs to be confirmed. These are merely leaks. So, share your thoughts below. What do you make of these rumoured fights? I'm intrigued to hear your thoughts. But anyway, it's been your guy Delboy. Share your thoughts below. Hit the like, comment, subscribe, all of that good stuff. Peace.